A pleasant good evening and thank you for joining us for Tuesday's edition of the Regional News. I'm RENATA Burnett. A man who was falsely arrested and charged in January 2011 for obtaining goods by false pretenses and conspiracy to defraud arising from the purchase of an AC Delco battery has been successful in obtaining a Supreme Court award of $14 million with interest against the government. Carlton Graham, a former fleet supervisor at Jamaica Biscuit Company Limited, said in the suit brought against the Attorney General that after he was arrested, he was suspended without pay from his job and subsequently fired when the trial started. He said he went to Stewart Industrial Limited on January 6, 2011 to purchase the battery. Subsequently, he was presented with a cash receipt, which was duly stamped as paid and signed by the cashier. The receipt was also checked and stamped by the security guard. Graham was arrested on January 14, 2011, detained for 8 hours in custody before he was granted bail. He made several appearances in the Kingston and St. Andrews Parish Court before he was acquitted at the end of his trial on February 28, 2014. Graham said before he was arrested, he made efforts to produce the receipt for the battery to the police, but the police ignored his request and instead charged him. St. Lucia is hosting the third annual meeting of States of the Caribbean Firearms Roadmap that begins on Tuesday, bringing together officials from the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, and the Dominican Republic. The meeting was organized by the Trinidad-based CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security and the United Nations Regional Center for Peace, Disarmament and Development in Latin America and the Caribbean in collaboration with the St. Lucia government. The two-day event is being funded by the Government of Canada and brings together national officials as well as ministers of security and other high-level representatives from the Caribbean region and the international community to discuss ongoing efforts to combat the illicit proliferation and misuse of firearms and ammunition. It said to address those challenges in 2020, all 15 CARICOM states and the Dominican Republic adopted the Caribbean Firearms Roadmap, formerly known as Roadmap for Implementing the Caribbean Priority Actions on the Illicit Proliferation of Firearms and Ammunition across the Caribbean in a sustainable manner by 2030, with the vision of creating a safer Caribbean region. Finally, in international news, another 200,000 people have fled northern Gaza since November 5th, the UN Humanitarian Office said Tuesday, as Israeli ground forces battle Palestinian militants around hospitals where patients, newborns, and medics are stranded without electricity and dwindling supplies. The humanitarian office, known as OCHA, says only one hospital in the north is capable of receiving patients. All of the others are no longer able to function and mostly serve as shelters for the fighting, including Gaza's largest Sharif, which is surrounded by Israeli troops. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, which is struggling to provide basic services to over 600,000 people sheltering in schools and other facilities in the south, said it may run out of fuel by Wednesday, forcing it to halt most aid operations. It said it was unable to continue importing limited supplies of food and medicine through Egypt's Rafah crossing, Gaza's only link to the outside world. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Until next time.